Get into it. How you good looking sexy people doing out there in Happy Land tonight? Y'all doing alright? Welcome back once again, like Finnegan. We about to go live and get on our zen. So if you've got a yen to expand your kin, then let's get into it. Me and you, baby. Broadcasting to you from the Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon, Twilight Zone, Old Peking. We're gonna play some RDR2 here in the background. Yeah, out of the motherfucking way, baby. Get on up. I said, get on up. Get on up out the way, bitch. Get on up. Get on up. Get on up out the way. I said, move your big old fat ass out my way, biatch. Cause I'm coming through. And I'm moving. And I'm grooving. And I'm jamming to the tunes. That doesn't really come in very clear, huh? Let's see if that light helps. Yeah, that helps a little bit, actually. Good stuff. I can appreciate it. Yeah, so we're on the RDR2 and we're headed over to take out one of the four gunslingers in the what's that called? Chapter 3. Oh no, we're getting into the cold region. Let me put on my coat. Yeah, I had to put on my winter gunslinger coat to make sure I don't catch cold out in the what the fuck's the matter with this thing? I was pretty sure I had everything wired up, man. I'm doing good, but here we are, realigning our wires as we go. I don't know why I got my rifle out. I think that's the bolt action, or maybe it's the rolling block. But yeah, we're getting into it here, guys. We're getting in deep with the RDR2, and so we'll check it out. See how it's going. Yeah, so yeah, I am broadcasting to you from the Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon, Twilight Zone, Old Peking. Once again, like Finnegan, trying to get on my zen, man. I'm just checking out y'all good looking sexy people out in Happy Land. I titled the show Let's Talk Openish-Panel. Just if anybody wants to jam by and hang out, man, we'll chat. Otherwise, I'm just gonna play some Red Dead Redemption. Have you played it? Do you know it? It's a pretty good game. It's like already nearly a decade old, huh? Let's see if I can't throw on a little background music too. What the fuck? There we go. I gotta turn off all my. I think I was exhausting my horse a little bit. I had to check on him. Better feed him and brush him. Yeah, so what's been going on out in Happy Land with y'all? Y'all good looking sex people. I'm looking a little bit like Arthur Morgan. Hey, why did he stop? What happened? Did he run into fucking something? Why isn't he following the trail? What's up with this guy? Get on the trail. Follow it. I saw a hair on my screen somewhere. Never miss a comment. Looks like we got comments open. I wanted to check. Okay, yeah, I wanted to check to see if it's playing on YouTube correctly. All right, looks like we do have someone watching, so welcome. Welcome back, Wizard, Wanderer, Warrior, Wayfarer, and Wildcat alike, wherever you are, whoever you are, and whenever you may be receiving this transmission. All right, I'm at the camp. Let's see where we're at. Uh-oh, you in the wrong camp, stranger. I guess so. Why's that? Okay. Okay. They're telling me to go away. Did you hear that? What? Now they're shooting at me. What's up? Didn't seem to take any of those guys out. What was up with that? He doesn't want to die. Is that everyone? Looks like I got most of them. I think. Let's check it out. Let's loot their cheap ass bodies. I don't want to swap hats. Wait a minute. Okay, I swapped hats. It's not something I was interested in doing. I want to loot. There we go. My horse is pretty brave. He didn't even bail during that gunfight. It's pretty good. I haven't been training this horse very long. So I'm kind of stoked on that. Flacco's man. Why did I pick him up? I didn't want to pick him up. I wanted to loot him. Did I hit the wrong button? Okay, loot. You gotta search through their pockets. Potent health cure, snake oil. Good stuff with this guy have. Revolver, open health cure. Another goofy hat. Let me check out this hat. Swap hats. Oh, that hat's even worse. Gay ass hat. Is this dude dead over here? Yeah, a couple more of them. Let's see what they got on their bodies. See what they got on their persons. Worn carbine repeater. Don't want that. Got enough of those. Looks like the homie's still alive though. I need to go grab him. Oh, he's still waiting at his little cabin over here, I guess. He's calling out to his men. I done killed all your men, homie. I'm gonna get both my guns out. My pistoles. Well. Jose Fernandez or something's his name. I didn't catch it. I forgot already. He wants to talk to me about Moa Calloway. Ooh, shot him right in the gut. I noticed on those Flaco Hernandez, that's his name. Take a close-up photo of Flaco Hernandez. Your camera is located in the weapons wheel. Alright, I'm gonna take a picture of this guy. Okay, there he is. Zoom in on him a little bit. Wow, got him. Enable lock, take photo, RT. Okay, I got the photo. Mission complete. Flaco Hernandez. Let's see what gun does he got. Flaco's revolver. Let's check it out. Double action revolver. Flaco's revolver. Oh yeah, that's really nice. Very pretty. Zoom in on it. Can you see that okay on the... I don't think you guys can see that. I wanted to try to zoom in, but it's a little bit too far out. Back. How do I flip it? It doesn't need to be clean, obviously. I can toggle view. Okay, there it is. Yeah, look at that. I can aim it. It's a nice pistola, huh? Zoom, toggle view. Nice. Oh, it's just got those two views back. Third view. Hey, what's up, Lev Kung Fu? How you doing, man? I'm playing a little RDR2. Why did my music suddenly go bad? That's weird. Alright, sounds like it's okay on YouTube. How's it going, man? You want me to drop the link so you can join the show? We can chat about stuff if you want. Otherwise, I'm just gonna play some RDR2. I know I don't have a very good setup for you guys to watch it, but I haven't figured out how to use is that OBS or whatever that platform is called. I've got it on both my laptops, but I haven't figured out how to. Actually, I have, but it's kind of a thing to set it up. I guess I need to get in there and set it up again so that I can use it to play games. Because this is obviously ghetto as fuck. Let's see, I got him. He's dead. Can I loot him? No. Drop Flacco's revolver for Granger's revolver. I already got Granger's revolver. Got him on the last kill. Let's check his little cabin here. See what he was doing. Kind of a Spartan little setup this guy's got. He's got some wolf skins hanging on the wall. Let's see if he's got anything. Oh, premium cigarettes. That's always nice. Kentucky bourbon. Let's go ahead and smoke a premium cigarette first. I guess maybe I can hold more premium cigarettes now. Hey, Voi's here. Voy. What's happening, man? How you doing? You doing all right out there in Happy Land? Yeah, I'm just chilling, man. I'm playing a little Red Dead, little cowboy game. You like cowboy games? Take the Kentucky bourbon, the premium cigarettes. I gotta check my cigarette card, see which one I got. What cigarette card do we have here? Edwin A. Rowe. Pretty cool. This is a card in the series World Champions, packed on Red Rocket. And it doesn't say what he is. Oh, it does over here. What did I say his name was? Edwin A. Rowe. Billiards. I guess I could have seen that. He's a billiard player. You see that? Yeah, so we've got him playing billiards. What else is on the table? Anything? Have a closer look. Nope, nothing on the table. Anything else in this room? Ooh, there's a lockbox under the bed. Let's see what homeboy's got under the bed. What do you think he's hiding under the bed? Do you think he's got money in there? Some girly magazines, maybe? Um, Ginseng Elixir. Very nice. Are those yours? Did you order those? Are those legit OG or are they good? You like those? Good man. Rifle cartridges. Doesn't look like I could take any more of those rifle cartridges. Okay, that's it. That's golden, man. We got it all. We'll hit the pause. Looks like we might have a visitor. Let's check it out. See who's in the house. Mr. Levy Kung Fu, welcome to the show. How's it going? All right, all right, all right.
Hey, how we doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Yeah, sound. Steady away.
Nice.
All right, let me.
Yeah, I'm just chilling, playing a little. Have you ever played Red Dead?
No, I played a board game called Gun on first Xbox,
Okay.
which looked very similar. It's like, first-person cowboy shooter type thing. Storyline and all, maybe.
Yeah, Red Dead was a popular game. It was made by Rockstar, the guys who made GTA.
Yeah.
Almost 10 years ago now. I guess the game's like 8 years old. But it's still
Is
very
it free
good.
roaming?
Yeah, it's kind of a sandbox game. It's got a story that you follow as well, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
you can
Gun
look
was
into it.
free roaming as well.
Yeah, those are the more fun
Quite a
ones,
good
I
game.
think. Yeah. So what's been going on with you, man? I hadn't seen you in a few days. How's everything over in jolly old England?
Yeah, all right, steady away. Weather's nice. Unusually, you know what I mean? Because usually it's a nightmare. Like, past several years, summers have been useless, but this year we've got, like, we've had a heat wave and all that kind of stuff, like, so it makes a change. It used to be all right all the time years ago, before all chemtrails and all that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. I saw Kenny Givens on Chats with Jack the other day, and he said that he showed his yard, and he said his yard had all turned yellow due to the heat wave. I guess you guys haven't had any rain, which is unusual for England, right? That's like where it rains all the time, or that's America's. Americans often have that not perspective. What's the idea? Like generalization of England, so that it's always raining. You got to wear a London fog and carry an umbrella all the time.
That's what English people always complain about.
Right.
You always need something to complain about. Now, because it's not raining, we're complaining about the sun. So. But
Yeah,
no, we've
good.
still had some rain though. It's not been completely dry in that kind of sense and stuff. Like, you can get some rain at night time or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, we've got Voy is here. You know Voy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you guys friendly with each other? He's a good guy. I like Voy. I don't know if you're friends with him or not. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd like if he'd join us.
Truth movement, so you know what I mean? It's gonna last 10 years easy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it must be 10 years around there. But Boy's been doing, I don't know, from same chats and all that kind of stuff, and then he's been doing his live streams as well. So I've been subscribing for a long time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a while. Yeah, so Voy, if you want to, man, hit the link. He asked me what's new, Frankie. Not a lot, man. I've just been last couple of days, like, I guess the heat is part of it, and a little bit tuckered out, and I've been sleeping. Are you familiar with the sleep of Shyamalan? Have you heard of that before?
No.
It's where you go into like comatose sleep states for 12, 14 hours at a time, and do a lot of interesting things in dreamland. So that's what I've been up to. I've been bringing back some. Recently, I heard about some psychic channeling a gal that's channeling into art, and so I picked up my art again about a month now. I haven't drawn in years, and so I started drawing again. Now you saw one of my little doodles. If you saw the thumbnail. So I've been channeling stuff from Dreamland and drawing it, writing it down and stuff. Just kind of dream journaling and having fun, chilling.
Alright. I saw them sketches you were doing yesterday. Not yesterday, other day when you streamed. You showed a bit of your artwork and stuff.
Yeah, I did
You mentioned
I did a picture. Do you know Jack Talcott? I did a picture of him, a caricature. I thought it was pretty good. I hadn't posted it yet. I was going to post it and at him so that he knew that I drew one of him. Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff going on there too. But yeah, here it is here.
Yeah, I remember that picture now.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the screen.
He's got the cross in his hand.
Yeah, that's kind of his deal. Is like, I guess he's convinced that Jesus is the way, which is cool. A lot of Christian folks think that. Like I guess they're. Oh, the camera didn't pick it up very clear, huh? It looks like it's kind of fuzzy. That's all right. You get the general idea.
I saw it on you shared it the other day, that picture.
Yeah. Excommunication's got something.
Anyway.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Excommunication, he said he had something to say. There's nothing to talk about. We are all mentally ill people trying to pretend we know the truth. Hopefully we never get it because none of us deserve it. Wow, it's kind of a reductive opinion about life, huh? What do you think about that?
There's nothing to talk about. We are all mentally ill people trying to pretend we know the truth. Hopefully we never get it because none of us deserve it. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame.
It's kind of weird, huh?
Excommunicate.
Erotic.
You should check out my channel because there's a lot of truth on there. So, and there's a lot to talk about when we consider that truth as well. My screen's gone funny. It's back. Restream, I think it normally glitches when I go on Roger's channel. It glitches all the time and it ends up throwing me off all the time and stuff. I didn't know whether this would do it.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. Restream is absolute garbage. I've noticed that. I'm just using it because I have the limited free account on StreamYard, and so typically I try to save the StreamYard hours for like more professional presentations. If I'm just hanging out like this is like Twitch streaming, right? Then I'll just turn on Restream. If I'm trying to actually like do a show, I'll use StreamYard. StreamYard typically, I think, is the more superior platform for streaming. I think Voy must be busy because he's just chatting in the text box. Yeah, because he'll often, if he has time, he'll jump up. But I know he's often busy with domestic duties and affairs.
What was that excommunicate talking about?
Oh, Voy, yeah, excommunicated. I disagree with him. I think that truth. I don't know. I think oftentimes folks do kind of tap into the truth by way of intuition or gnosis or whatever, and it's kind of a simple and easy thing to grasp. It's that people try to complicate their way away from it, right? Because it can't be articulated exactly into words, or it's very difficult to come to like an agreed lexicon or jargon so that we can all understand, what we're pointing at, and words kind of miss the thing itself. And so when we start to label and make descriptions, then it's somehow we're working further and further away from the truth, right? Somehow. What do you think? And then the other thing, to pretend like we know the truth, that's not at all what I think any mystic would do, right? Like we've got Socrates telling us, I know that I do not know, and therefore I know that I do not know, right? And Lao Tzu in the Tao Te Ching tells us, he who knows does not speak, and he who speaks does not know. So he's right about it. There are a lot of people pretending to know the truth, but I don't think everyone's doing that. I'm certainly not doing that. Oh, did it drop you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're back. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's StreamYard for you. StreamYard is a real pain in the ass. Now it's
stream
got your
yard.
circle of death. Or no, Restream. Sorry, StreamYard's better.
Yeah,
Restream's
yeah.
terrible, terrible.
I've not uploaded my picture on Restream, so it hasn't got me avatar.
Okay. Yeah, so I tend to disagree with excommunicated. I think in general, maybe his statement is applicable to like a wider generalized audience, but there's always the outlier, right? There's always the individuals who are up to something different. Like I said, I'm not pretending to
There's a
know
lot
the
that can be
truth.
spoken about it.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of topics in that statement. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully we never get it because none of us deserve it, like truth and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of like, well, we do deserve it, really, for a long time. There's nothing to talk about at the beginning. We are all mentally ill people trying to pretend we know the truth. And it's like, well, I kind of thought the truth movement were like the journey to discover the truth. It was like the realization that we knew nothing. Everything that we believed we knew turned out to be false. So now we have like a fresh perspective. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like,
Yeah.
I suppose it is an
And
issue of
go
some
ahead.
people don't seem to deserve it. Do you know what I mean? Because like, you know, like I've spoke about people like stealing my work and all that kind of stuff, and you're gonna feel like, you know, like um, I don't know what you're supposed to do with it and all that kind of stuff. Because it's like, you know, those people are showing that they don't deserve it. They're showing that vampire personality and that kind of stuff. Like, you know, stealing from others for their own life source in a way. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, whatever money they make off my work that's the same kind of personality. You know what I mean? So it's when people act in that way. And then when we compare it with all the other people, like the mental illness, I spoke about it briefly and I connected it to like Christianity and all that kind of thing. Like, if you've got like your multiple personality God, you know what I mean? That split personality issue. Right. So, and there's a lot in it, like allowing the spirit to move in, and then you've got like a voice in your head. So then with schizophrenia, blood drinking can lead to schizophrenia. And there's so many different things which can connect to it, but one especially things in terms of like when people read from Bible and then they get that empowered, like, you know, they start raising their voice and stuff, that kind of thing, and it sounds like, whoa, the spirit's moving through him in that kind of way, and it's like literally I kind of think it is, because it's like it's that the left and right, the red and blue, the blood and the righteousness, and that blue is that righteousness, and it's like that righteousness which allows people to commit murder. You know what I mean? It's in their mindset. It's never all right to do so. You know what I mean? But in their mindset, convince themselves that it's that righteous act of doing so. So, like all the witch trials and all these kind of things, all those people which were murdered there. I mean, granted, a lot of it were probably like from these secret societies. So, like when you've got like KKK, like in these days, you know what I mean? Then they're showing you the same personality as those like witch hunts and stuff, like, you know, like burning witches and then burning, you know, all the KKK burn and stuff like that. Which I don't want to isolate it to race because it's a secret society, and you know what I mean. And they could do it to me. I'm a truther, so it's like, you know, maybe we won't want to speak and stuff like that. I could go missing, and then I'd be at one of those events, but nobody'd know about it apart from those attending it, you know. But But yeah, back onto schizophrenia and mental health and all that kind of thing, and like that connection between like Christianity and stuff. Like, so when you got like police brutality and they're like acting in that righteousness, you know what I mean, and they accidentally kill quite often. But there's like a term for it, isn't there? How the trigger finger can easily accidentally fire sometimes and stuff, that kind of thing. Because we're there, you know what I mean. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes I think. Whether that's an excuse sometimes as well. But but the other thing I mentioned as well, like in terms of like the him, so like the fairies, why they hide, and you know, because we're afraid of him, and how anybody can embody that him personality. You know what I mean? We've always everybody's had that friend who's been a him, you know what I mean, or a her, you know what I mean. It's like, oh, she's coming around, you know what I mean. You don't want that person to come around. Everybody knows who you're talking about that way, and it's like because that person's embodied that nature, you know what I mean, in that kind of way. So, like, you can be a Christian without realizing that you're actually a Christian, because like sometimes you can like challenge spiritual beliefs, like, you know, is God real, right? And then a lot of people start defending, like saying, how can God be real, and they'll refer to like loads of Bible references, and it's like, well, that doesn't mean, because that's that specific God, and I'm talking about God altogether, you know what I mean, and all that kind of thing. Like, it's like, you know, which I don't use that word anymore. I call it spirit, you know what I mean. It's kind of like spirits, you know, every God exists within spirit, so it's like, you know, there's many gods, so that, you know, just to simplify it and call that a spirit. But so like when we walk in the footsteps of Christ, even though we do it in that peaceful, honest way, right? I kind of think you can still embody that Christ consciousness, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like it's not spirit consciousness, it's Christ consciousness. That's an individual, you know what I mean? If you're gonna embody what that is, and then like, you know, you later discover that a lot of that is a fallen angel, you know what I mean? Some very evil god which wants your heart and wants to drink blood and all that kind of stuff, like, and has a multiple personality disorder. You know, I mean, it's kind of like it's probably constantly in torment himself, you know, Baphomet or Jesus, whichever way name you want to give him. So,
Well,
like,
it's an interesting thing too for like
if
the people who are in it. They absolutely right. They don't see it that way, and it's funny too because they'll turn like an entire blind eye to those statements or interpret them in a very different way, right? Like with the drinking of the blood in the body of Christ, or being washed in the blood of Christ. It's kind of a weird, like almost fetish type aspect of that religious expression that like I said, they just ignore it. They turn a blind eye to it. I may have lost you. Yeah, it looks like the restream's playing games with you.
yeah, no, that's normal. So it's all right. But yeah, so what you were saying,
Yeah, I was
they
pointing out that
don't
it's like
think
a
that way, or
fetish right. The way they interpret it or overlook it, like it's a fetish aspect of their religion that they kind of ignore or reinterpret in some way that it's like they say they washed blood in the washed clean in the blood of Christ, and eating and drinking of the body of
yeah.
Christ. It's a type of their ritual practice, or I mean, it doesn't make any real appearance other than like crackers and grape juice or something for the most part, right? So they don't interpret it that way, but I think that it's like it becomes a fetish aspect of their religiosity.
You see, I see that as like it's like it's like fluff. You know what I mean? It's like right? You've got like the elite, which drink the blood, like literally, right? But for the public, for the servants, you know what I mean? Those which are going to join Christ in that way and such, they need to be, well, they're the sheep, aren't they? You know what I mean? So like the military's on a need to know basis and all that kind of thing, and government, you know what I mean? It's same in it really. Um, so you know, like the sheep don't need to know and all that kind of sense and stuff like. But we still got like those little rituals, so it's kind of like, you know, makes it seem like, you know, it's nothing or whatever. But the truth of it, though, you know what I mean? It's kind of like it's just what it is. I mean, like, you know, like the vampiric aspect of it all. And when you compare it to the government stuff, the government's like pushing the same agenda. Um, oh, actually, before I move on, in terms of like, you know, like the other stuff, like the mental illness and all that kind of thing, I kind of think that if if this Christianity thing were exposed as a vampire religion and then people rejected it, then that him aspect might not overtake people. You might not have police brutality anymore. You might not have those husbands which beat the wives, etc. Stuff like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a lot of these like police interrogation videos. It's quite often it's a mentally ill person which has committed the homicide, and quite often they're also a Christian and also homosexual, which, you know, in terms of like letting the spirit move in, that might be the cause of that. Because the LGBTQ people, they class themselves as the woke, you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, they've woke up in that, you know, the demon's been allowed to wake up, or whatever's possessing them, you know. But and there's also videos of, oh yeah, I used the clip in one of the videos. At like a parade, and this guy's like saying that we are legion, we are they, we are them, and they do class themselves as they and them, but then for him to call himself legion as well, because they're all that one voice and that kind of sense of what that of what the Baphomet is, you know what I mean? So rather than it just being like, you know, me saying that homosexuals are being taken over by an undead spirit, because it sounds a bit wacky, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, or like some sort of hate campaign that I'm going on, but it's not at all. Um, I just stood up for them before in terms of like, you know, gender and stuff like that kind of thing. Like you've got like animals which are gynamorphic, you've got like both genders or whatever. It's kind of like, you know, kind of exists in nature, but for people to do it to themselves, I think that's different. But because that exists in nature, like gynamorphic thing, then maybe homosexuals, these are like a natural. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I do think that a lot of them are. They've allowed the spirit to move in, so they've got like more than one person. So that's why they want to be called they and them. Because when I address you, I'm just addressing one person. But if you had another spirit inside you, then you're them. You're not just you anymore. Like a shared consciousness and such.
Yeah, you know, I can see how that makes sense. Well, it's one idea that this guy brought forward. He's probably not even hanging around anymore. So you know, like there's a lot of internet tourists that just kind of wander in and say something, and then they wander back out, and a lot of them oftentimes are participating in lots of different chat rooms and stuff simultaneously. So their energy is dichotomized, and it's not like they have a it's not like by bringing this idea forward he has a really genuine interest in learning about where he might be wrong in it, right? So um, I think that's kind of obvious from the also the very juvenile perspective of the way it's worded. I don't know if I lost you or not. Might have. He'll probably jump right back in. Um, Master Nee has some words on the cultivation of chi and self cultivation as an unceasing job. I'll read this real quick, it's one paragraph. He says, because all of the practices in this book, which is the workbook for spiritual development, I want you to thoroughly understand what it is you are cultivating. Many modern people in the Western world have misconceptions about the cultivation of qi. People tend to overtrust doing jogging, swimming, and other sports as exercise for physical health. They tend to make the body have mechanical reactions to things. Specifically, overdoing gym exercises can cause one's spiritual. Oh, yeah, I lost him. Okay, he's back. Yeah, I brought you back. So I'm reading a short paragraph from the workbook for spiritual cultivation by Master Nihua Ching. And he's talking about self cultivation being an unceasing job. And then it was delineating some of the ideas of chi cultivation or chi practice. He says that physical activities, heavy physical activities like sports and other exercises or gym work, will dull one's spiritual sensitivity. He says you might think you feel something special, but if you give up these types of heavy physical exercises and do exercises that cultivate chi, you can experience a kind of transcendent experience because they are used because often folks are used to exercises which are mainly physical. People feel that practices like tai chi or seated cultivation cannot possibly help the body much. They even refer to some silent cultivations as wishy-washy practices, which is an inaccurate observation based only on external appearances. Actually, the nurturing of chi that goes on in all silent cultivations is much more beneficial to life than only doing physical exercises. These cultivations work not only on the physical level, but on the mental and spiritual levels as well. He mentions that the main work is to grow and nurture chi. Chi is a person's integral life energy. In human life, the most essential thing is spirit. But between the spirit and the body is the chi, or vital energy. The popularly recognized acupuncture channels are channels for chi. Chi is the main element of our health. Thus, thus its refinement is of prime importance in spiritual cultivation. Yeah, what do you think about that? That's just a couple of paragraphs. I do believe you are back. Kung Fu Levy.
Yeah, I'm muted, and it takes about 10 seconds for it to unmute.
Oh yeah, no problem.
But yeah, I like that. I agree with that. It's what I believe. You know, I mean, I think like she's a foundation for everything. It's a foundation for my origins of life series. So it's like, you know, it's the thing that scientists refuse to look at because they didn't have evidence for it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, well, not evidence in the left brainway. You know what I mean? And the right brainway, there seems to be plenty of evidence. You know what I mean? It's kind of like because you can't prove a chakra or you can't prove a ghost or something like that with an instrument.
Not yet,
But you can
anyway. But
experience like an encounter with a
right, you know, a lot of this
yeah,
technology
yeah.
was
I think that
originally
it
was a
eventually
yeah, a lot of this computer technology was originally developed in order to be able to communicate with the spirit realm. That were some of their ideas going forward with this stuff, because it's actually an ancient technology as well. If you consider like the legendary stories of King Solomon, you know, he had these Baghdad batteries, and then he had dark mirrors, and he could scry, you know, he could turn on the dark mirror and see anywhere within the kingdom, and literally like reach through it and pull things out and deliver things via interactions with obsidian mirrors and crystal shoe stones and stuff. So there was something going on back then that we don't understand today.
you have them doorways, don't you? You're like in America. They're like a doorway. It's supposed to be like a stargate or something. It's like a
Right.
it's almost like it's
Well, yeah,
like
I'm
carved into
yeah, I'm
stone or
actually
whatever.
I'm
I'm
in
out on
China,
side.
and then you're in England, and so yeah, we've got a little uh, electronic gateway of light passing between us.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we're essentially working on a lesser model of King Solomon's Dark Mirror. You know, they came out with the popular TV show Black Mirror. Yeah, Restream's kind of a piece of shit in that it keeps dropping Lev. I'm sure he'll be back in a moment, though. I'll continue reading then. He says, Qi is also an unformed substance of the body or a spirit. Vegetables have fiber bodies, animals have flesh bodies, and spirits have Qi bodies. I think he's back. Let me hit the button, do the thing. Let's see here. Does that work? It still has your old one connected, too. I'll drop it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so he says Qi is the unformed substance of the body or spirit. And he was describing, I don't know if you heard it or not, vegetables have fiber bodies, animals have flesh bodies, and spirits have Qi bodies. Spirits communicate to humans through the Qi of the person, not through the sense organs. Higher Qi is also included in the spirit of one's own being after some spiritual achievement. In our cultivations, we use the strength and power of the gross or coarse foundation of the physical body to produce more qi. Then, after refinement, it becomes xian, or a free and happy spirit. This is not a fabulous theory, it is a definite spiritual fact. All achieved ones not only know it, but actually are it. So that plays into the idea that the fairies will typically hide from you because they're entirely qi, right? And so they have a more subtle, gentle energy than your average, ordinary, rough and tumble type person. Like if we use excommunicated 000 as a reference point, there aren't many fairies going to want to hang out with that dude, right? Sadly. Even his ancestral fairies will abandon him. What do you think about that?
What was it again? As it stretched out, I couldn't hear everything, but I don't know what that 000 part was.
Excommunicated. We have an expression in Chinese. We say lian jing hua qi, lian qi hua shen, lian shen hua or sheng, or there's a couple different verbs we could use here, but basically what would be an even better one I'm thinking of? Give me a second. Zhichan or Zhicheng, Wu Ji. So in English, it says that, you know, and similar to chakras, I guess, right? The three dantians, that the lower dantian contains the Jing, and then the middle dantian is the elixir field of Qi, and then the upper dantian is the elixir field of Shen. And so you cultivate those lower sexual urges to become, like I call it, the infernal dantian, right? To be dispersed into the world through sexual activity, and then you refine that into the Qi at the middle dantian, terrestrial area, and then this rises up to the brain for spiritual enlightenment and to create a happy spirit, right? A happy, easygoing spirit. The basic internal alchemy pictograph I can show you real quick. A lot of problems with Restream, huh?
Yeah. No, my phone really don't like it.
Yeah, my iPad is the same thing. It won't stay connected. I downloaded a new browser for my phone, or my iPad on my phone. I'm using Firefox now, and Firefox seems to stay connected without any problem. But the original. I think I lost you again, brother. The original browser just wouldn't
I'm
stay
still here.
connected for
I'm still
anything.
here.
Are you still? Okay, good. Yeah, it bumps you like every couple of minutes, huh? It's kind of a pain in the ass. I don't have the picture in there. Go ahead, Vicky. What do you think about all that? The fairies and stuff.
I believe in fairies. I think it's a big aspect of, you know, everything really. You know what I mean? Like God's creatures, aren't they? You know what I mean? Or creations and stuff like, as we all are. But uh, in that, in that same sense, it's like, it's like, like the ridiculousness that elves exist, but humans exist. And it's kind of like, well, what's the difference? You know what I mean? Like, so the abundance of fairies and stuff, that kind of thing. Nature spirit, I suppose, like, anything like cryptids and all that kind of thing, kind of come under the same bracket or whatever. But vampires, that's kind of
Right.
in the fairy realm. Giants are in the fairy realm. You know what I mean? Most people in truth movement boast things from the fairy faith. You know what I mean? So, but no, I'm into it all. I bought loads of books like fairies and nature and all sorts of stuff like.
Okay, here it is. I finally found it. So, I'm not sure how clear it is on that. Oh, it looks pretty clear. So the basic alchemical process of the three Dantians could be represented pictorially like this. Like so, this is the lower Dantian, the area of the fire, like the Jingqi is what we call it in Chinese. And through sealing off the lower gate, right, like the tendency towards ejaculation through men and the tendency towards childbirth through women, we seal off this gate so that when we have sexual interactions, we don't ejaculate. As a result, this creates an abundance of sexual psychosexual energy in the lower Dantian, this lower elixir field. And the idea is to rise it up the spine. Of course, you know this basic like yogic type trans. You're probably familiar with this process, right? And then it rises up and it comes into the chi, the center Dantian, this area, and it continues to rise up, and then it coalesces in the brain as an elixir that descends back down. So the process is cyclical, right? As you fire the cauldron and evaporate the etheric energy to commingle with the super spiritual energy. So the physical energy below, the spiritual energy above, and then the etheric connection between those, you cultivate a greater amount of power from those three elixir fields, greater physical strength and in longevity and endurance and good health, as well as better emotional stability and greater interaction with the human realm, and then also the higher level spiritual gifts and spiritual powers such as clairvoyance, telepathy, astral travel, that type of thing, magical manifestation, all occurs at the level of Shen. Shen, of course, also goes on to birth a higher energy known as, I would show you some others here too, but a little bit of it's kind of secreted. Can be discussed out of the eye of the public, as it were. But in the eye of the public, there are a little bit we can talk about, right? Without going too far afield. Yeah, I'll offer a little more, I guess, from the some of the cultivation practices in Tao. Um, the teaching of Tao originated in prehistoric times. For many generations, people searched out methods by which to develop themselves. These methods are many, and some have been formalized as different schools and stress one or two things and put other aspects as secondary. Here, I would like to give you some idea of the many different effective methods which are present in the system of the Shrine of the Eternal Breath of Tao. So yeah, I'm describing a few of the practices from the school that I trained with, Lev. It was in Malibu, California, and it was called the Shrine of the Eternal Breath of Tao. And according to Master Ni, it's the direct lineage from Master Nu Dongbing of the School of Complete Reality. He said, but the School of Complete Reality is over because it was a Tang Dynasty thing, so it was 1,000 years ago. And he said that we had to have our own, like each generation has to have its own new school. So he called his school the Shrine of the Eternal Breath of Tao. And then as a result, I guess my generation, I have to have my own new school. So mine is the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Just kind of a fun play on Lovecraft. So there's Neidan, internal medicine, Tai Shi, or internal breathing, Dao Yin, of course, is energy channeling, Quan Shi is visualization or concentration on talismans, Fu is external nutrition, Xing Jiao is not sex, which also same pronunciation, but walking for gathering and refining qi. Fu Qi is internal energy maintenance. Bigu is fasting, like periodic fasting. Of course, it's a little bit popularized now. The next one, Fu Qi, is natural energy through breathing and swallowing. It's a big one. Feng Zhong is sexual cultivation. Fu Jiao is talismanic characters, words, and invocations. And then Jing Dan is the golden elixir method. And Shi Jue is the method of excavation into a new life. So like the death practice, the practice of leaving the physical body. So a lot there, a whole complete system of spiritual exercises. There's a few others too that I do that I bring from other. Say again.
The death practice, that last one, the practice of leaving the body. When you said the practice of leaving the body, that made me think of astral projection, but you said like the death practice. Is it the same thing?
Yeah. No. There's a small like tube that you have to fit into the bai hui of your skull so that you can hold open the bai hui. That way you can come and go from the body like completely. So you could do it naturally without the implement, but the actual practice as you get closer to, like, once you're done with this life, we're talking hopefully, you know, if for you it's 100 years, then it's 100 years, 120 years, whatever. But as you get closer to that point where you will completely excavate the body, you will, and you can practice it when you're younger too. I don't suggest it though, especially without like spiritual training and having gone through all of the other rudimentary practices of like chi weightlifting and other things first, right? And really understanding the realm, like you have a firm grasp of interacting with the realm beyond life. Otherwise, I wouldn't suggest it for anyone. But anyway, yeah. So the bai hui is where you can come in and out of the body, and through astral projection, typically, folks will travel through either their third eye or their center dantian rather than the bai hui. The bai hui, the 100 meeting point, is like the actual excavation point. It will open up at the time of death. I've witnessed it happen. I watched my father die, and he was able to do it even though he had no training whatsoever, which is interesting. Because if you don't have spiritual cultivation, oftentimes what happens is you're, at the moment of death, you release with that like final ejaculation and the final shitting and pissing of the body, and your spirit is excavated as like a hungry ghost from the lower visceral of the body, um, rather than out of the bai hui. Dying and leaving through the bai hui actually requires several days of intense concentration and manipulation, internal manipulation, in order to achieve it. So, like if you're suddenly hit by a car or something and die, and you die in a very like violent or sudden way, you don't have the same opportunity to remove all of your spiritual energy from your body. So it's far more traumatic. And then you have to spend time gathering that energy back. That's why sometimes ghosts are tormented in that way. But if you're able to grow old through longevity, then you can excavate from your body properly. Yeah, so
monks
death.
and they do that thing, and if they've they've left the body properly, it bleeds on the top of the scalp. Probably the same place as where you're mentioning they put that tube.
Yeah.
And
It's
they do
a
like some sort of ceremony at some stuff.
Yeah, it's a physical thing you can witness. Like I said, I witnessed my father do it, and I watched how he did it, even though he had zero training in any kind of yoga, or um, he didn't know anything about it. He just did it naturally. So he was an achieved man, and I was pretty proud of that. Not watching him die, but having the opportunity to be there and witness it and know that. And then he came back like immediately afterwards, multiple times in Dreamland, and visited me. And he's a superpowered dude, man. High level Shin. So yeah, good stuff.
Cool.
And in fact, I'll tell you an interesting spiritual connection, just because it's of value. Um, he returned to Dreamland, like the dream landscape, 2 weeks before my mother died. And I hadn't seen him in a long time, a couple of years. And I'm like, Dad, what are you doing here? Why are you here? And I would tell you the whole thing because it's just unreal, but I'll give you just the rundown. And he's like, oh, your mom has passed and I'm here to pick her up. And I'm like, what do you mean she died? Because I hadn't heard any news of that, and I didn't think that was true. And so anyway, it was a very beautiful thing, the way in which he picked her up. And then I was quite worried after waking up and realizing that, that was a spiritual experience. There was a lot to it, but I'm not going to go through it all right now. But then it was 2 weeks later that I found out, or 2 weeks later, that she actually died and passed. So it was 2 weeks before, and I wrote it all down and had documentation of it. And I was able to talk to her one more time before she actually died. But yeah, he had already come, and so there is no space-time. The space-time continuum in the realm beyond this realm doesn't necessarily function the same. But I was able to witness it via his spiritual energy, the reunion of my mom and dad after death. And I thought it was quite a special thing. So good magic. Greetings to the Chatter King. We're trying to keep Lev on board, but for some reason the restream keeps disconnecting him. So it's a little challenging to have a conversation. But yeah, it's good to see you, Chatter King. Welcome, blessings. If anybody does want to hit the link, I recommend it. I guess it's kind of hard for. Let me see here. Hit the. Oh God, it's in Chinese for some reason. I guess I was typing in Chinese a minute ago. Hit the button. Join the show. Yeah, there it is there. And I think I cannot pin it with Restream. That didn't work last time. Yeah, so I was just, Lev, welcome back. I was telling a story about my dad's passing and then him coming back to pick up my mom when she died. So, yeah, kind of a thing.
We're 2 weeks before she died, though. So
yeah, it was two weeks before she passed. He showed up. Yeah, honey, what's up? Not you. I'm not calling you honey. What do you need?
Good.
It's my daughter. I'm chatting with someone online. Do you need something specific? Oh, okay. If you need me, just let me know. I'm not unavailable to you. Yeah, we're up at odd hours right now because I'm off for summer vacation and she's between semesters as well. Her next semester doesn't start until later at the same time as me. She goes back to school when I go back to school. What about you, Lev? Do you work? Do you have like a normal job and stuff, or you do other things?
No. Because I've got brain injury, which kind of like got in the way of a lot of things. I was wanting to be a comic book artist and writer. I wanted to
Oh, is
write
that
my own
right?
stories and do the artwork for it and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so I was quite good at drawing as well. So I mean, I kind of that comic book kind of style of drawing and that kind of thing. Like it was kind of very, really that flowy kind of artistic. It was really good. Like,
Yeah, that's
which I might
awesome.
redo. You know what I mean? Because it was like before the brain injury and all that kind of stuff. And most of those years, I didn't have a clue what it were about and all that kind of stuff. Like more recent years, it's all flooded back, and it's like
Yeah.
it'd be worth doing again because it's really good
Have you
story.
how do you work? Like, have you been working in a sketchbook, or what style? Like, what mediums do you work with and stuff?
Um,
Like pencil and ink and
watercolor.
watercolor.
I think it's undecided for like the final thing. I think I was gonna do. I did some like A3 versions and stuff kind of thing, pieces and stuff like, and trying to. I think watercolor would have been the way I would have gone with it and stuff like that. I think it still is actually. Uh, ink and pencil and ink and all that kind of stuff like, and then try and make it so it's not like a bland watercolor paint in a row.
Right, you could break it up too. Like most comic book artists, like they'll just do the line work, and then someone else will do the ink, right?
I was like a one-man band kind of person. I wanted to do it all myself. That's back then, like, but nowadays maybe I could do that stuff like that.
And
I don't know. I still think I'd like to do it myself.
you're probably familiar with Grant Morris, right? Grant Morrison, is that him? The guy who did Comic Book Magic. Are you familiar with that guy? His story?
Grant Morrison, he's done loads of stuff, hasn't he? He's done like Batman and all sorts of famous comic books and stuff.
Well,
I don't know his
he's.
name, yeah.
Did you hear his story about him doing chaos magic through comic books?
No.
Mm.
I am suspicious, so
I'll
because
send you
like
the link.
most of
So
them
it,
stuff like.
well, no, I think his story is very good. I think it's very forthright and straightforward. You're familiar with manifestation, right? And like the idea of like imagination becoming reality. And so some of the ideas that I use magical scripting and talismans. And I've only recently got into bringing things into the realm of like he talks about what did he call them? I forget. Hypersigils? Yeah, hypersigils of chaos magic, where you can make. He put himself in the story, and everything he wrote for his comic book character in the story happened to him. And so he learned to do basic, like bringing the energy. Because in the system that I've learned, there's three parts to it. You have the super physicalized physical world where things manifest directly. They become tangible items like golden nuggets or whatever. And then you have the astral light, which is where the imaginative energy penetrates, right? And then the connection between the two is the etheric energy. So once you've cast the astral light, the intention onto something, it attracts the etheric energy, which will bring it into manifestation. So it's a three-step process: volantia, decreeism, and paucism. But yeah, you should. It would only take. I think there's a. I'll send you a link on YouTube. I guess it's like an hour long talk he gives about how he did it. It's very good. It's worth listening to for sure.
Lots of common things, don't there? You know, like you got to be careful what you think about. You got to be careful like on all those kind of things and stuff. There's a lot of bad self-talk that
Oh,
comes with Christianity.
absolutely.
You know,
Oh yeah,
deny
I've
yourself and
spent the
death
last 10
yourself and all
years.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've spent the last 10 years completely eliminating negative self-talk. I have very little left. There's very little doubt left in my mind, or sometimes I still get into situations like of high pressure at work and stuff where I can hear negative self-talk creeping in, but I am able to disperse it very rapidly. I'm That's the path of the magician, right? Breaking free of all that type of trauma, getting rid of, well, you work through it, do your shadow work, but just get beyond it at some point. Yeah, that's good. I'd like to hear more about your art and your intention to do that, and get some feedback if you have the opportunity to listen to that Grant Morrison. And I still have to take the opportunity to look into your work a little more. I haven't done so yet. Like I said, I fell into since last
Yeah,
we spoke. I've slept pretty much since the last time we spoke, which is a little bit selfish on my part, but it is what it is.
and the Origins of Life series. I think that's really because it's so groundbreaking. It's world changing. It can change so much. I mean, we just a water episode, but like the rest of it as well, like the Tree of Light series and all that kind of stuff. Like so, it shows you what space is and all that kind of stuff and how that works. So like a lot of things in terms of like flat Earth and how flat Earthers have say that loads of things about space are debunked and all that kind of stuff. Like black holes don't exist. The bend.
Dang it, I lost him again. Maybe, yeah, there's not a lot I can do about that. Yeah, if you have another, my only suggestion, I guess, would be Lev. Are you still there? Hello? Hello? If you have another device, maybe you could connect with another device. Otherwise, it just, like I said, it seems to bump you every couple of minutes, which is a little bit infuriating, right? I'm sure he'll be right back though. But yeah, what a challenging thing for the restream. I wonder why restream does that. I wonder why it's I don't know. Like I said, I had the same problem the other day on my iPad, but now that I'm working from my laptop today, and so and my other phone doesn't have that problem, but my my Apple phone and my Apple iPad both have that problem. Is your phone an Apple phone, or are you calling in from an Apple phone, or what kind of device?
It's Samsung.
Oh, it's a Samsung.
Samsung. Yeah, yeah.
Fascinating. I wonder why certain things like that happen. Like why they like some things just don't function with some platforms and stuff. And I had never had that problem in the past. It was just
Probably that's why
recently
you're
that
old as
started
well.
happening. Oh, he said it's probably what the Baphomet. So he said.
No, I've had it about 4 years, this phone. So maybe, it's not like a brand new phone. You know what I mean? I think Restream's more new, so maybe that's one
Okay.
like
Yeah, just
use
maybe
technology, you know what I mean? It's not
incompatible
powerful.
software. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. So look, quite a few people have got the same issue. I kind of thought maybe that's could be it, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's a bit behind.
Yeah, like I said, it started happening just recently, a couple of weeks ago on my iPad and my Apple phone, but my I got another phone which is like a Chinese phone and it works fine. Then my laptop seems to work fine, and my other laptop works fine. I don't have a desktop. I'm thinking about setting it up a little different because everything I have is kind of outdated. The only thing I have new is my iPad. Everything else is like 10 years old. So that is what it is.
But
Um,
I used to be
yeah,
postman
Sophia Daisy May
before.
says, go ahead. Oh, really? How long did
No,
you work
you
as a
go.
postman?
Um, I did it on agency for quite a while. Then I became an actual proper postman, only for 6 months or so. And it were a few months after that actually that I had a brain injury. So you know what I mean. It's kind of like work kind of went out the window at that point. I still had amnesia when Truth Movement came. So like 10 years later, I became a flat earther and all that kind of stuff. Or 9 years later even. Um, and then I'd worked a couple of times, but it were really difficult. You know what I mean? It's like I weren't in condition for it and stuff like that. Like even after 10 years, it was like it was difficult to do a full week, do that consistently. Because like every week it's just getting more and more difficult and stuff like that. Like I say, you've got neuro fatigue, so
Right.
you need to dedicate your time to sleep when your body wants to sleep. And if I'm at work, then I
Right.
can't, so I'm forcing myself to stay up, and you're fighting against what your body's trying to do. You know what I mean? And especially in terms of your brain, you want to make sure that's right, don't you? You know what I mean? I was quite concerned in terms of like my future. I mean,
Right.
like now, 20 years on, I'm all right. You know what I mean? I haven't got mental health issues. I've not got uh, any brain issues in main issues and stuff like that kind of thing in terms of like how to function and stuff like. You know, it's like memory thing. You know, what I mean, I forget a particular word, describing word which I'm trying to use.
Excuse me. Yeah, I might have lost him again. Well, that happens as you get older anyway, right? That's just normal type of things. Um, I would say the chi activities are definitely helpful for recovering from that, and being gentle with oneself and being gentle with one's energy. Sophia is concerned about my sleeping. Yeah, I was just telling Lev, Sophia, I've slept pretty much the entire last 3 days, like 14 to 16, 18 sometimes hours a day. So yeah, I'm well rested. Um, but thank you for asking. Yes, I've been sleeping 20 hours a day or something for the last 3 days, so I'm doing fine with my sleep. But yeah, it is 3 a.m. exactly 3:02 a.m. here in Twilight Zone, Old Peking. Welcome back to the show, guys. I hope everyone is doing well out in Happy Land. You can consider a one-time donation over at buymeacoffee.com/Frank Bunday. Well, something in the tip jar never killed anybody, right? Um, we've been chatting here with Lev Shaolin Kung Fu. I think some of you guys know him, right? So that's cool. And he's got a good stories, but he's having a hard time staying connected with the restream. I did drop the link if anybody else wants to jump on the show and join us here. Are you back, Lev? Let me see here. You might be back. Is that you? Are you there? Hello. Yes? No? Not sure. Okay, I did pull Lev back in. I don't know if that's him or not. Um,
Yeah, I'm back.
oh, you are. Okay, good, good. Yeah, that's kind of frustrating a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's annoying. Like I say, I used to do it on Rogers, and it'd throw me off all the time. It's one thing I miss a lot of what you say. You know what I mean? And you carry on talking, you think I'm
Right.
still there. You know what I mean? So that's one problem. Other thing is I can't finish a sentence and stuff like that, which is a bit of a nightmare. Like on StreamYard, it was brilliant, wasn't it? You know what I mean? But no problems at all. Um, but you know, it's just when we get a chance to use that, I suppose.
Yeah, I take that into consideration. Like if you get bumped, that you're not hearing what I'm saying, and then I'll try to recap a little bit as soon as I know you're back. Yeah, we left off. We were talking about your postal endeavors. Basically, being a mailman, right? Were you like walking a route?
Yeah, the route, yeah. It was quite difficult actually. We compare it to like being in the military, you know what I mean, for how hard it is and stuff. Um, I didn't have a car either, so you know what I mean, I'm on foot doing it and stuff like. So you got to walk to drop off points and all that kind of stuff, and You know what I mean?
And you push a basket, right? You had like a blue basket on wheels that you'd push.
I had a bag. I had to have it over my
Oh, you had a
shoulder
bag.
because I had loads of stairs to go up and down and stuff like. So, you know, what I mean, you can't take the trolley upstairs. So, but they leave it at bottom nowadays. But back then, you know, what I mean, I had my bag. So that was doing me hips. That would cause a lot of damage to that because I used to try and run and get job done and stuff that kind of thing. Like, but it was just, I don't know. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. It was a lot more fun in warehouse. You know what I mean? Warehouse or distribution center either. You know what I mean? You get along with everybody, get to know everybody and all that kind of stuff. On the street, you're walking on your own all day, so you know, you kind of, at least you're outside, but so there's pros and cons with it and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I can imagine.
yeah, but then I got to it after that. Um, but like you said, like about work and all that kind of stuff, like I kind of think like from definitely for past 4 years since I started doing this Origins of Life thing, I knew it was something like kind of big. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like I said, like even with Fourth Series, like you know that one, I'm showing you how water creates anatomy. So like when you get the ocean wave, and that like kind of turns around, it kind of forms that shape, that circular tube shape and stuff like that, right? And then you've got all your spinal cord. So you often get a BS shape in the wave as well, you know. So this is why we've got the S shape to us back and all that kind of thing. But also you got all the lines which come around the wave, so they become like the rib lines, also like your teeth, all that kind of thing, like. So it shows you how we were made, where the design comes from, why it was shaped that way. You know what I mean? And there's more to it in terms of like the shape and why we're that shape and such. Because there's another episode. Um, it's in that Waves of Love series. It's in third section of it, Waves of Enlightenment, and there's an episode where it's showing you sunlight, but it's like it's got this reflection on water. So you got like the horizon line in the middle, then the sun at top, and then sunlit reflection at bottom. All right, but then when you compare that to all those bugs which have all the pareidolia, like the face on the back, you know what I mean? All right, so there's loads of them, and you can see like it's like got a face there, kind of like a ladybird, but you can't see. There's not much pareidolia in ladybird. You can see the black spots, so then that's like the sun.
Yeah, I dropped him again. Okay, guys, the link is in the chat box. If you want to join the conversation, do hit the link. All are welcome. All that have read the basic attributes and are willing to communicate in a respectful and holy fuck, that scared me. Low battery, please charge. I didn't even know that was turned on, but I will set it to charge. Okay, Love's back. Yeah, so you guys, some of you might be familiar with his work um, on his channel, Lev Kung Fu Shaolin. Welcome back.
Thank you, nice one. Like Sophie Daisy May, she says there, Fibonacci sequence golden ratio. I've got an episode and it shows it sunlight coming into ocean waves, so ocean waves curving. So then all the sunlight bends into the wave. So then you can see like that's like the literal golden ratio because that's the sunlight, which is kind of the golden aspect, and the wave creating that ratio. Then it's showing you everything because it's the communication between the sunlight and the water. So they're like the two prime aspects of the creation aspect of it, which is amazing. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I say, it's world changing. It changes how, you know what I mean? This is why all fake truthers are stealing my work. You know what I mean? Like they're all making careers off it, which, you know, this needs calling out. You know what I mean? Because one, they're all fake and they're paying wrong people. And also, it needs doing something with it. You know what I mean? Say for like the truth movement elevated me with this work rather than pushing me out of way and then having other people steal it. And you know, I suppose they were all working together and stuff like that kind of thing. It's like Witset's been on Bro Sanchez's panel before, you know what I mean, and collaborating, you know what I mean, and that's after he stole. Well, both of them stole the Taurus field from me in that kind of way. But like I say, it's like as my work's progress, it's shown so much more, and it's like, you know, as time's going on, they're just continuing to steal it, you know what I mean, and taking credit for it and all that kind of stuff. Like one example, like when Witsit nicked it, he he got interviewed by important people, and these important people, right? They took out their time to go and see this person who were boasting that this research what is, and the only thing that they took home with them, only things, were it was Bob's idea.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. A little bit of a bummer that the restream doesn't, his software doesn't interact with the restream very good, so he keeps getting bumped. Um, kind of a bummer. It it would be much nicer if this functioned correctly, but it is what it is, right? Okay, yeah, we'll act like nothing happened. Continue.
Um, so whilst he gave them nothing at these interviews and stuff like that, right? I could have, because a lot of people said this in chat. You know, if people steal other people's work, it's very likely that person might stop producing the work. You know what I mean? If we're just going to get it stolen and all that kind of thing, then what's the point? And all these kind of things and such. So it's like I could have finished. I could have stopped on first series, but I didn't. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I've got like 12. I'm about to start my 12 series now, so that's kind of plenty. You know what I mean? And there's a lot in each series and stuff like. Um, so it's like all of those series, we wouldn't have any of them if I'd given up. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I went to those interviews, I could have spoken about what we were going to do in the next series and stuff like that and where it were going to lead. Or I could have embellished a lot on the series which we were doing at the time. It's like if I got interviewed just on any panel, not like a big major panel or that kind of thing. Like if I come on here and spoke about my most recent series at the time and all these kind of things, I would have embellished a lot of things which I didn't really get a chance to say with during the series. You know what I mean? And it's really difficult to make extra videos. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I would only have a couple of things to add here and there. Then a couple of weeks later, I remember some more bits. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, we should have gone in. You know what I mean? But so you don't, I can make small videos to add things to it and stuff like that kind of thing. But it's different when you've just made the set. It's like after Reflections of Love and Light, I did it on somebody's channel. Bex, she took it down, put it as private though, which is a shame, but it still exists. But with that interview, well, not an interview, you know what I mean? But
What was that? You
I
said
got,
you did an interview with Bex. Is that right?
yeah. It were after me Reflections of Love and Light series, so it's like I got to speak about like the consciousness of the ocean and like talk about a lot of things which I didn't mention in series. You know what I mean? So like that information's there in a way, but like I say, it's in private. It's like most things, most channels that I've gone on have been like all the content's been put on private. Like nearly 3 or 4 years on dudes, flat Earth dudes, and is
Yeah,
put it all
I
in
don't
private.
usually do that unless I've had too much to drink or something, or someone says something that's TOS. Otherwise, I pretty much all my stuff I keep public.
Yeah. Within reason, yeah. I can give it that light, but no, I'm really suspicious of it because it's like those people are like working with the other people which are stealing my work. You know what I mean? And they're still doing it now. So like on Earth Awakenings, it's just reproducing what I'm doing again. You know what I mean? They've done the vampire religion and religions of life stuff and all this kind of stuff. Like, just like Bro Sanchez is doing. You know what I mean? He did a stream the other day and he's talking about the imperceivable light of the universe, which is like my Tree of Life series, which was before the vampire series, so he's also doing the vampire stuff as well. So you know what I mean? He's just completely copying everything that I'm doing, which I've not spent much time, you know what I mean, looking at his stuff recently because like it's just stressful, you know what I mean? You don't want to put up weight all the time, so well, at the moment, I kind of feel like I should do some more expose videos, you know what I mean, and kind of like show people what's going up with it and stuff like that Stellium. It stole everything from my first and second series concerning like the giant trees and the landscape and all that kind of stuff, like, and then it hinted towards all this pareidolia, right? So then it's like, you know, it's it looks like it's going towards all the Origins of Life stuff as well. So you know what I mean, like all those people that watched Martin's show, you know what I mean, and stuff like where Stellium presented it, they all believe that that's his work, you know what I mean. And then if you say in chat, you know what I mean, with comments and stuff like that, and then people defend it, say no, it's both your work or that was one comment, but
It seems that some of these folks know you though, like DJ Emo. He says he's been keeping up with you for a while. Is that correct? And I think you know
yeah,
Sophia.
not
Do you
been
know
cheating for years.
Sophia Daisy May? I'm not sure if you know her or not.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are I would imagine there are people that have been witness to it directly, right? And folks know that
Well, I
what's
see,
going
because most
on.
people know me at Movement. You know what I mean? I've been on loads of panels over the years and stuff like Ironworks. They know me. And they've come to me chat sometimes when when I'm doing my premieres, but they never mention all these people stealing my work. It's more like they're teamed up with them. You know what I mean? They're like on the same. They're going to the same events. You know what I mean? And celebrating these people which are stealing it. Like they're clapping for the thieves, even though they know me and they know my work. So what? How come I'm not? I'm not elevated. I'm pushed out of the way whilst the thieves take it. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems to be the way this place operates, though. It's set up for individuals that somehow make connections and then they're able to siphon off the cream of the crop and then push it forward. And the people who are doing the real work are kind of left behind or shadow banned, even, right?
Yeah.
It's a fascinating. I kind of figured it out. I don't know, maybe part way into it, and I just gave up entirely. Like I don't make any like high production value videos for YouTube anymore. Really, just jump up here and chat and talk about ideas and stuff. I've given up entirely. Like I said, most people who see that and feel that and know that that's what's happening, then yeah, they're inclined just to give up entirely and not produce more work for people just to regurgitate. And yeah, so I can feel your pain there. It's noble that you would continue. It's noble that you would continue in the face of seeing that. Like me, like I said, I just gave up. Why do it, right? If that's what's going to happen, because it is what's going to happen.
Well, that's it. I kind of felt like because I was so known in Movement, there's that many people that have communicated with over years and been on the panels and stuff that it'd be obvious. But rather than standing up, they're like joining in. You know what I mean? Like Flat Earth dude saying, "No, it's all right. People nick each other's work all the time. It's just what happens." And then he's like wanting to celebrate these people, but he don't want to watch my work. You know what I mean? He don't want to entertain my channel at all. But he'll watch for people which are stealing it, even though it was I started it on his channel. You know what I mean? When I was doing the live streams on his and stuff kind of thing. That's when I came up with the idea for that we came from the trees and stuff like. But that's also since then that it turned into an off-air stream, and he said like like I told you that, didn't I? Like every 2 weeks he was saying give it a year, and it's like Jesus, it's like you need to. It didn't make sense because it's like it's like what's the point in trying to spread the truth on an off-air channel? You know what I mean? It's I don't know. But yeah, I kind of thought it'd be obvious. I thought most people would just point it out. And I kind of thought the more I do, the more obvious it becomes. which there is a lot of people that know my work. So when they see him copying it, like Bro Sanchez, I mean, a lot of people, it's obvious to a lot of people. I don't get it with a lot of people. And with Vampire series, it's called the Flat Earth Psyop and the War on Spirit, about the vampire religion, part 1, etc. So the Flat Earth Psyop. So, like, they lied about the globe. They lied about the shape of the Earth. So eventually, we'd discover it's flat. Right? They release the information and they control the information. So, like all these flat Earth shills and stuff like that kind of thing, with all the Freemason hand signs and such, what they do. You know, like the flat hand sign, it's flat, and they put their hand flat. Right? That's also a Freemason sign. So, you know, if we're all doing it, all these people in the special group and stuff like, then it's showing you there's an alignment there, which is not exactly favorable for us. So, like, I've just done a video about like the olive branch. So, like, when we see like the UN map, and it shows you a flat Earth map, where it's got like a laurel wreath around it, which is that's a yeah, olive branch. So, an olive branch is a it's a thing you offer it after conflict. So, you know, say if like, you know, an abusive partner might offer an olive branch to try and keep a relationship going. You know what I mean? Right? And that's same as Christianity as well. So it's like a release flat earth, right? To get you to think of the most obvious thing. You know what I mean? What's the most obviously pushed thing in the truth movement? And it's Christianity. It's a flat earth book. They keep telling you that same thing. You know what I mean? That is, so you should take all that passion that you got for truth movement, for flat earth, and then put it into the book of Christianity, the book of the devil. So I think that's like part of the agenda. You know, the UN is going to be part of that, creating a new world and all that kind of stuff, like, and bringing an end to this world. Which it's like we're using the truthers to stage the path of a new world order, which makes it really difficult in a way, because it's like, you know, we've got to be careful on what we're pushing in a way and stuff like that. And obviously it's flat, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I've got all my Origins of Life series that shows you how the realm were created and everything. So like like even in nature, it's showing you how the realm is flat and all that kind of stuff, but it also boasts space. So like I was saying before about, like, you know, a lot of flat earthers will auto bunk anything to do with space, like the bending of space time and stuff like that kind of thing is oftenly, you know, don't believe it, you know, straight away and stuff like that kind of thing. Like, which rightly so in many respects, because, you know, our fake space and all that kind of stuff. Like, we're faking going to space, you know, but like what space is and stuff like that kind of thing. Even scientists have still got the wrong idea about it all and all that kind of thing. Like, you know, like the explosions in space and all these kind of things, like the Big Bang and all that kind of thing. So, like, the Big Bang, is it an explosion, or is that actually a giant tree made of light, spiritual light? It's not an explosion at all, and we're like flowers on that tree, you know what I mean, and such. So we're talking about the tree the other day, weren't we? You kind of got it, like, you know, the how you kind of travel through it astrally or between lifetimes. So you can see it on the on the wood. See, when you see on the patterns of wood, and you can see up wood knots, and they're like the realms, the black holes, which the bubbles of consciousness which we exist inside. So it's like a map of space, but for the spiritual world, so it's all lit up white. You did a short on it actually.
Yeah,
Of me
I
saying it.
just yeah, I let the program itself. It just goes through the video, I guess, and generates a bunch of shorts. Then I just publish them. Um,
I don't know.
I'm able to review them before hitting publish, so I listen through them and make sure that they kind of didn't pull anything weird or random. But yeah, I think it does pretty good. That's on StreamYard. It's able to do that. But like with the package I have, it only allows me to do it twice per month. So yeah, so if I feel like the show was pretty good, which I felt like it was good, we had some pretty good conversations on that. So I let it do that. Yeah, and it pulled some pretty good ones. I listened through some of them, and some of them get some traction. Like I've had some of my shorts get up to 5,000-6,000 views. So that's interesting. They allow that to get a little more better circulated, I guess.
Yeah, I thought about doing shorts. I might do a few.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of food review shorts and like cigarette reviews and shit from China, and some of my food review ones would do routinely well, like 4 or 5 thousand views per interesting food review short. But it's all work, like to get them good, take 5-10 clips of the food and stuff, and then talk about it a little bit. Even for a little short, it's like there's because YouTube has given me so very little like return on investment, especially when I was putting real work into the channel, that like for the most part I've just pretty much entirely given up. Like I put pretty much zero effort in anymore. Like I'll jump on here and stream and talk to folks, and I may make the occasional video, but it's not going to happen. And I realize that it doesn't matter how good or how perfect I did everything, it would never happen for me. And so it's it would be insanity to keep trying if something's not working, and it's never going to work because you're like in my situation, I'm already shadow banned. So, and I'm sure that may be true with you as well. So again, noble endeavor, but at some point folks have to realize, it's a different thing than we think it is. It's not like an equal playing field. It's not an equal opportunity type venue. It's just meant for certain folks to gather intel.
That's what we need it to be an ego. Out open to the public.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. So I mean, you can keep trying, but just roll with the punches. Realize that it's not likely to change.
It's karma. We're in the
Could I
spiritual
mean just
war.
take it like me? Yeah, like me. I mean, I'm still fighting the spiritual war, obviously, but um, like I said, I'm not going to like get my good cameras out and use boom mics and do lighting and look for angles anymore. I'm not going to be creative to the level that I was in the past with it because on the one hand, I really don't have the time for it. I'm typically at the office 50 to 60 hours a week because I work in an academy, like a private boarding school. And so like during the summertime, I'm able to do some more streaming and stuff. But I really thought that if I was able to produce some really high quality videos, that I might be able to get some traction on YouTube. But I did that and it didn't happen. I don't know if you've seen some of my earlier stuff like Kung Fu Thriller or Ennui, some of the short films I did, or like swing dance reviews and stuff like that. Um, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like Sophia says, Frank, are you allowed to talk about how life is for people in China? Is it oppressive as we hear about? No, it's not. I mean, yeah, I could talk about China a little more, and I could like structure videos and do editing and all of the color correction and stuff like that, and make them like high production value. But even if I did that, it still wouldn't happen. So it would be a waste of time and energy. Yeah, Sophia, that's correct. I teach AP language and literature to senior students. So AP language, AP literature. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. It's basically like A level high school. It's a subject. It's subject teaching, not just English teaching. I do have English classes as well. Like those are called salon classes. But yeah. So yeah, I do that. So that's my day job. YouTube's just for fun for me, and for socializing and meeting more people. So that's now the only reason I come at it. Originally, it was for showcasing like I had a lot of ideas that I thought I could move forward with and make it like at one point maybe some sort of alternative career path or income stream. But like I said, that's not going to happen. It doesn't happen for people that they don't have an agenda for or that haven't accepted an agenda already.
The agenda is to destroy the world. Like, the top
Yeah,
of it.
that's right. And to destroy all beneficial spiritual knowledge. So, like, to pervert it and corrupt it in some way. So, if you're not on board with that, then you really don't have any place in the devil's kingdom. And for me personally, that's definitely not something I'm on board with. And so, um, I live at my school, Sophia. Sophia says, "How's your commute to get to work, Frank? Do you take the train, bus, etc.?" I drive my car, but I live right here, like in an apartment complex directly behind the academy that I work at. So I'm like 5 minutes from the front gate of my work. My father always told me, he said, if you're going to work at a company, try to live within 10 minutes of it because you don't want to waste your life and commute. I used to commute a ton when I first came to China, like hours and hours every day. And even when I first took this job at this academy, I was commuting an hour and a half both directions, until I rented an apartment here. Yeah, so I've been in this apartment for 2 years, 3 years now, 3 years, and yeah, it's right at the school. It's much better to my nervous system to be right here and then just walk over before school starts, and then walk or drive home after school's done. She also wants to know if I'm able to speak openly about spirituality. I do. I don't care. I've lost jobs because of it in the past. Like I was told by a manager one time, they're like, "You can't talk about God. You can't talk about religion." I'm like, "That's a part of English language. It's a part of our culture." I said, "I can't not talk about it." She's like, "Well, do you believe in God? Do you promote the idea of God?" And I said, "I don't believe in God. I know God." And I said, "No, I don't neither promote nor detract from the idea. I just lay out the evidence, and if it's in line with what we're discussing, then it absolutely has to be discussed, but I'm not going to give them my opinion. I teach critical thinking. The kids can make up their own minds." But yeah, I've there have been there's a couple of different jobs I got in trouble for that. So who gives a fuck, right? I'm not going to give up my dignity and my personal autonomy just for a job. And if they can't appreciate that, like at this point in my career, then I should have the academic in autonomy to basically teach the way I want or the way that I think is best. Are you still there, Lev? I think I might have lost you
Yeah,
again.
I'm still here, yeah. I'd thought about doing it, English teaching in China, years ago, whilst I had brain damage. Probably couldn't do it.
No, yeah,
Even if I
you can
tried.
do you can do anything you want, man.
No, I mean, like back
There,
then, because of brain injury and stuff like that. But I
oh,
mean,
okay,
back
yeah.
then, I wanted to cycle across to China. We tempted to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, even without money. You know what I mean? To try and, try and survive. Be a massive journey, but eventually get to Shaolin and then like,
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's what I chose to do, but and it was a part of just like my my idea of coming here to learn other things that uh, brought me along this path. So yeah, there are always other things to do, but it was one of the more available type things, as you may imagine. It's interesting. You like to do cycling? Do you still cycle? All right, I guess I must have lost him. Yeah, so I think he said that he said that at one point he thought it would be fun to cycle across China. Yeah, that would be for real interesting. I haven't cycled much ever. I was more of a skateboarder and a surfer. I grew up in Southern California, so I don't know a lot about cycling. But my brother, he enjoyed cycling. So did I hear you correct? Did you say that at one point you thought it might be interesting to cycle around in China?
Yeah, before my brain injury, I'll use my pushback a lot. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like I could go quite fast on it and stuff like, and endurance as well. You know, it was only a mountain bike, but it was a Kawasaki actually, which is kind of cool. But it's like from back from '95, so it's heavy compared to normal normal mountain bikes today. Um, but uh, but yeah, I probably wouldn't have survived. There's a million things to
Mm,
consider. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have been able
yeah, I
to
don't. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really
do
done
the
much cycling. Yeah, but like mountain bike, I did a little bit when I was younger, like high school, and a little bit into my 20s. I did some mountain biking in 'cause Southern California. We have a lot of beautiful mountains to go.
yeah, scenery in China's ace. It's the best thing about different countries actually. All different scenery. Have we lost you? You look like you're frozen, and I'm not hearing you. Can you hear me? Oh no. You put in chat. You got disconnected. Should I wait? I'll get thrown off soon. I don't know. Restream's been like this for ages now. It's just with my phone anyway. Like I say, we used to go on Rogers and or have the same problems. It's working quite well at the moment, despite the previous almost 2 hours.